Right, welcome to a brand new one. In this one, I'm going to show you how you could use your own code, use a public repository, and ask Kubiya to create infrastructure using that public repository. What we're going to create? We're going to create a brand new Kubernetes cluster on AWS. As you can see, I haven't got any Kubernetes clusters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Kubiya, and I've got a repo over here. Okay, this is my public repo. I've got my Terraform code over here. So one thing is, what you could do is you can simply copy the repo URL from here and tell Kubiya to start cloning this particular repo and start creating the Kubernetes cluster. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my main file. I'm going to copy this entire code. I'm going to give it to Kubiya and ask it to create a brand new Kubernetes cluster for us. Hey, could you create a EKS cluster? I already have the Terraform code. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the code to Kubiya. Now Kubiya is going to process the code and tell us what it has understood by just reading the code. So one of the option is what I did just over here, giving the code to Kubiya, and another option is to directly just copy this URL and give it to Kubiya so that it can start creating cluster or whatever infrastructure you have. So what it has done is Kubiya has echo all the content which I have given, which is the Terraform code, and wrote it to a main.tf so that it could run it. Obviously, it needs a Terraform file in order to save that code so that it can run it as well. All right, then the next thing what Kubiya is doing is it's saying that initial process has been started already, and it's downloading the necessary modules and plugin. And as you can see, it has started to check the status once it's done, and it's finishing the Terraform init. Terraform init has been completed. It's finished in the working directory. Next, it is saying that it will generate and show the execution plan. The plan has been generated as well. It has indicated that it is going to create 45 resources. Obviously, Kubernetes is a complex system. It's got virtual network, it has got storage, it has got the compute system, node group, and whatnot. So it's going to create everything. If everything looks good, please proceed to apply. I'm going to say yes, please apply the TF code. As you can see, I don't have any Kubernetes cluster yet, so I've instructed Kubiya to start creating the cluster, and now it is going to go ahead and run Terraform apply auto approve for us. Right, while it is applying, you can still go ahead and ask question, could you tell me what is the status, how many resources are deployed already? So in between, you can ask Kubiya to check how many resources are deployed, and if the cluster is started to being deployed, if any of the components like the networking part or the storage account or the volumes are started to create. So what it is doing is Terraform show and then grep creation complete. You can always go back to your cluster and check if it has started to create. All right, it looks like it has already started to create, and you can see EKS cluster. You can ask also, verify also what is the name of the cluster. You could go ahead and instruct Kubiya to change the variable as well. So it's still kind of processing the previous request, but as you can see, the cluster is now created. Kubernetes cluster is a big resource, so it takes a bit of time. I'll let you go ahead and try Kubernetes cluster, start deploying Kubernetes cluster using Kubiya. One of the way is cloning the repo. You could just give the repo name. Second option is what we did, copied this particular code and gave it to Kubiya to run it on its own. I hope this was informative. While this is getting created, I would like you to go ahead and start creating your Kubernetes cluster with Kubiya. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.